All right, what's up, guys? We're going to talk about two major aspects of improvisational solos. Okay, this is going to be great blues, rock, whatever it is, and we're going to touch on both the rhythmic phrases and hard motifs, and then we're also going to talk about what I call segue phrases. Now, what I mean by segue phrases are I'm just going to kind of throw an example. If I have, right, and then right, if I keep going with that rhythmic phrase, it's going to get tired. You need something to break it up. What happens now after we learn rhythmic phrasing is once we start breaking up the rhythmic phrasing, we get super lost and just start throwing notes at it, and I want to get a little bit more pattern in there. So we're going to touch on both sides of that. Let's get into it. I do still want to start with the rhythmic phrase lesson because I want to have everything in this video. So how I do it is, and you would be surprised, I have students that can shred around me. These guys are fast, they got tapping down, but what they cannot do, believe it or not, is clap out a repeating phrase. It's unreal. And what happens is when our clapping, our rhythmic phrase, no notes, just the rhythmic motif needs to be so strong to add notes on top of it. If it's not, you're just throwing random notes and it sounds like a guy fell asleep at the wheel and the car has absolutely no direction, okay? So we want to get direction on now both sides of improvising. So what I have my students do is if we have, I just have them do, and then you'd be surprised at how many people cannot do 4 of the same clapping phrases and then another 4 and then another 4 over and over and over. Once that becomes comfortable, which I'm sure for you guys is going to be very easy, we then add only the root notes. So I'm going to change it a little bit. Right, until that gets solidified, then we start figuring out, do I want the pitches to go higher? Do I want them to go lower? Right now it's starting to form into an actual musical expression, whereas if I come right in, it's got no direction, right? And the more I add notes in there, the less direction it's going to have. It actually like dilutes it. So we want to get it down to this kind of rhythm. So what happens is now your ear starts getting involved in saying like, okay, well maybe I want it to be like, all right. Right, and then that starts developing, and then pick another 4 and another 4 and kind of go from there. It sounds so basic, but I want you guys to develop that muscle so much, okay? So that is going to be one part of it. The other part, like I say, it's kind of like if you stay too long in there, if I kind of do that, all right, pal, then it's like, okay, all right, I need a little bit of something else. Now and I haven't gotten into this part of the solos before. Now we start saying, all right, we got to get out of that lane. We got to get into a new lane on the highway. Well, instead of, again, this lends itself a little bit more to the drifting around and not having any direction. I want to get into a little bit more pattern building. So then you have the strength over here, right? And then you have the strength over here, and then you're just jumping back and picking a few and kind of driving in both lanes at the same time. All right, so let's strengthen this muscle right here. We're going to use the pentatonic, or a pentatonic. I believe I'm tuned down half a step, or I might not even. I might be like somewhere in between. I'm not going to lie, this guitar is not great. I glued it back together. I took this thing to Europe like 4 times. But we're going to use the pentatonic. We're going to use pattern building, the pentatonic. The first one that I absolutely love is going up the pentatonic in a 3-note pattern. And all that really means is if I were to count the pentatonic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up all the strings. And that's not the actual Roman numerals. I'm literally just counting each note of the pentatonic. I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, all the way up that pattern. So you're playing the 3, go back 1, next 3. Now, even though it's in a 3-note pattern, I want it to still be over 4, so you're just going to blend them together. All right, and then you can go down. I always do something weird there at the end. So that is pattern number 1. Now, just like the example I gave with the rhythmic phrasing, when I stuck too much to it and it started to get boring, that would be the same thing here. If I were going to use that as a little segue, right? You're kind of like touching on it a little bit, but then pulling it back. So I just want you, but that's why I want you to develop the pattern muscle so that you guys are going to be able to pull these out whenever you want, whenever you feel it's time to get away from the rhythmic phrasing lane of the highway. Another one that I really like is just, some of these are going to be super simple, because this is going to be a little bit for all levels, is just a double hammer on. And then pull-offs. Right? Just all the way up and down. My favorite is actually this. So the pattern is going to be, you're going to play the upper note of the pentatonic on the first and second string, and then the lower note. Now, luckily, the lower notes are always going to be 5s. So upper, pentatonic, first and second, and then lower, first and second. And then you're going to move upper notes, second and third, and then lower notes, second and third. And then third and fourth, okay, like that. So it goes like this. If you guys watch, I'm going to start right here. I'm going to go nice and slow. 8, 8, 5, 5, switch. 8, 7, 5, 5. 7, 7, 5, 5, 7, 7, 5, 5, 7, 8, 5, 5. All right, and that one's real cool. Let me see if I can get a little speed on it. Right, it's got a nice little mixture. The note jumping is what I really like about it. Right, it adds like a little bit more flavor to it. So that's super cool. You can go the other direction. I've never actually really done it, but like the lower notes. 5, 5, 8, 7, 5, 5, 7, 7, 5, 5, 7, 7, 5. Right, and again, I wouldn't go up and down that. I would just take little segments of that depending on where you are in your solo, literally where you are, like the actual. Right, kind of throwing it in there. Let's see, another one that I always take is if you try to go in 4s instead of the 3s. So now you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And just go up and down that pattern. I love that one as well. So now what you're doing is you have over here, like we were saying, your hard motif, your melody building, the things that are going to make your solos singable and memorable. That's why people love like the Hotel California solo, and stuff like that. And really, it's why people love music. I mean, if for all of us, I know there's a lot of guitar players in here that probably listen to pop music, probably listen to rock music. If you had like a Led Zeppelin song, like Communication Breakdown, and every single line was completely different from the next, and the chorus never repeated, you'd be like, what the hell is this? It was just like didn't make any sense. So same deal when you're playing your guitar solos. So I'm going to go hard in each direction. So I'm not going to do any blending. I'm going to be hard motif, and then I'm going to go back to hard pattern building. So it's going to be And you could hear that, right? You could hear like it sounds very thought out, and it sounds a little amateur because I'm going, oh, okay, I did that 4 times. Okay, let me do this. Okay, boom, that pattern's over. Back to here 4 times. Okay, back and forth. And what is great about it is being able to kind of drive in both lanes, so to speak. So if I were to play that guitar solo, I'm going to take some of the same ideas. Right? It's like, oh, it almost has the motif the whole time, or at least it's touching on it a bunch, but it's not making it completely contrived and boring. And then when I'm doing, right, that's almost like a pattern building that I'm using in a motif in itself. It's really, it's an onion layer that it really doesn't end. But I wanted to get on this side of improvisation because nobody really gets there, and I didn't realize, because I talked so much about the rhythmic side, I didn't realize how necessary it is to also build up this muscle. Once you start getting really good at it, what I love too is right? So that rhythmic pattern, or I'm sorry, the over here, the over here side, the pattern ended up becoming a rhythmic pattern, right? So I'm driving in both lanes. Right? And then that is the way that we can bring a solo completely to life, literally driving in both lanes. Guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this one. It's Friday, it's late. All right, cheers. I really wanted to get that down. Instagram TV, thank you guys so much. Please share with your friends. YouTube and Facebook, thank you guys. Also share with your friends. I really hope that this worked out. Thank you guys.